Hello Commodians. In today's video we're going to show you how to create a new wallet in AtomicDEX Desktop, get some test coins from the faucet and do your first atomic swap. There are two ways to set up a wallet. If you already have a seed phrase, you can click on Import Wallet, give your wallet a name and enter the seed phrase there. But if you don't have a seed phrase and you want to set up a new wallet, we'll just click on the New Wallet button. This generates a BIP39 compliant seed for us, as you can see there. It's always recommended to write this down and store it somewhere securely offline. And once you've done that, we just need to give the wallet a name. This can be any name at all, and it's just so that we can store multiple wallets within the same application. So I'm just going to call my wallet Dragonhound. And once that's done, we'll just hit the next button. In this step, it'll ask us about the position of a few of the words within the seed that was just generated to confirm that we have written it down somewhere else. And once we've completed the seed confirmation, it'll just ask us to create a password. And to make sure that it's a nice and strong password, we'll include one lowercase letter, an uppercase letter, a number, a special character, and it'll be at least 16 characters long. We can click on the eyeball icon on the right hand side there to see what we wrote, and we can also copy and paste that password down for the confirmation. And once that's done, we'll hit continue. The final step, and everybody's favourite, is the disclaimer and terms of service. So we can have a read of that one, and once we're happy, tick that we've accepted and the confirm button will appear. And now we're ready to log in to our newly created wallet. By default, the AtomicDEX wallet enables Bitcoin, Komodo and Litecoin, but we can activate extra coins by using the Add Asset button on the side here. As you can see, there are lots of coins and lots of protocols supported here. I want to enable Rick and Morty, which are our test coins. So rather than scroll through looking for them, I can just type Rick at the top here, tick that one to enable, and Morty. And once my selection is made, just hit enable. And now you'll see that those two coins have been added down the bottom here. Before we go any further, I'll just give you a quick overview of what's on the screen within the wallet. So starting at the top bar here, we have an icon which we can switch from light to dark mode. We have a notifications area. We have an area that tells us what our balance is, and we can denominate that in fiat, Komodo, Litecoin, or Bitcoin. And next to that is the name of who is currently logged in. If we click on that, we can log out. If you move your mouse to the left, the sidebar will expand, and you can see that we are currently on the portfolio page, which gives us an overview of all of our holdings. Next is the wallet page, where we can see transaction histories and send and receive funds. Below that is the DEX page, which is where we can do our atomic swap trading. And below that is the address book, where we can store addresses that we might commonly use to send funds to. Down the bottom of the sidebar we have settings, support and privacy. The privacy is a simple toggle that just blanks out any dollar values that might be visible on screen. The support tab has the answers to a few basic questions, gives us a link to our logs folder if we're having any trouble, and there's also links to join the Komodo platform Discord server, so you can pop by, say g'day and ask any more questions. A link to the AtomicDEX Twitter page, and links to our support guides. So I'll just return to the portfolio page. On this page, we've got a list of all enabled coins, the balances, the current price, and what the price source is. If we have a lot of coins enabled, we can also use this little search bar to filter it down. And this toggle here will hide any funds that have no balance, which at the moment, for me, is all of them. If I click on RIC in the table here, it'll take me to the RIC wallet page. And you can see on the right hand side up the top here, we have a button that says faucet. If we click that, we'll be placed in a queue to receive some RIC from the faucet. There's also a faucet button on the Morty page. And to go to the Morty wallet, we can just click on Morty at the side here. And you can see that's changed our coin wallet over. And I'll just hit that faucet button too. So once our request is in the queue, we should have some RIC and Morty funds appear in our wallet in about 5 minutes. While I'm waiting for that to happen, I'm going to go to the Komodo wallet page. And if I click the receive button, it'll tell me the address and give me a QR code so that I can send funds into this wallet. So if you're using a crypto wallet on your mobile phone, you can scan that QR code to send funds to it, or you can copy that address, save it somewhere else, send it to a friend, or use it to send yourself funds via command line. So once the funds have arrived, we'll see a transaction record there, which we can click on. Gives us some details. We can hit there to view it on a block explorer. And we'll also see in the notifications panel here, we've received some funds. And now if I go back to the portfolio page, you can see that my pie is all Komodo, 100% allocation. After I've done a few trades, we'll check back here and see how the pie slices differently. You can also see that we have some RIC and Morty funds now. Now that we have some funds in our wallet, we can go to the DEX page and do an atomic swap. There are two versions of the DEX page, Simple and Pro. The Simple view lives up to its name. Basically all we have to do here is select which coin that we want to trade. So I'll go for RICs. How much RIC we want to trade. So I'll enter 5. And then down the bottom here, I can pick what we want to trade it for. So I selected Morty, and if I hit swap it now, it tells me I will swap 2 RICs, I will receive 2 Mortys, exchange rate is 1-to-1, there's minimal fees, and the security config is set to 1 confirmation. If you do want to change it, we can just toggle there and select a different amount of confirmations. Once we're happy with the summary here, we just hit confirm and our swap will start. So we started under the trade panel here to create our trade. Once we created it, we end up in the orders tab, and this tells us the progress of any swaps that we have at the moment. You can see that we're at step 2 of 3, and it tells us the amounts that we're trading. If we click on that row, get a little bit more information, and if we click on that show button, we get very much detail of exactly how long the swap is taking and what step it is at currently. So while we're waiting for that swap to complete, I'll just go over to the Pro view of the DEX page. So in the Pro view, you can see at the top here, we have 2 drop-down menus which we can search through to select some coins that we might want to trade. And as you can see, if the supported pair is on trading view, we'll also get a nice little graph as well. We can hit the button in the middle there to swap the buy coin for the sell coin. And if we don't have funds, we'll see that little yellow danger triangle there, which is basically saying we don't have enough funds to trade this. So let's go back. I'll select Komodo for Litecoin. Unfortunately, we don't have a graph there, but as you can see, the order book, there's a lot more in there. And because I've got Komodo, I can buy Litecoin. I can't sell Litecoin because I don't have any Litecoin yet. And I've clicked on that row there. You can see that it has automatically put a price and volume into the order form for me. I can change the volume a little bit if I'd like. If I want to change the price, we have to exit the order selected, and I can input that manually. And you can see over this side on the trading information panel under the exchange rates tab, it looks like that swap has an asking price of about 1% above what Binance or a similar exchange might be asking. Now, if you're all happy with that, the volume, the price, just click Start Swap. You can see again we get our confirmation screen. It tells us how many Komodo I'll be swapping for how much Litecoin, the price relative to a centralized exchange, the fees, security, and again, if you're happy with all of that, we'll just click Confirm. And now you can see that that order has been initiated. Under the Orders tab, we can click on the order that is in progress and have a look at how far along it is. The last tab on the side here is History. And we can see there the Rick and Morty swap that we just completed previously. And if I go back to the simple view, you'll see that we have the Orders and History tab here as well. And similarly, we can select on that for the details. There's also a filter for these views. I don't have too much history at the moment, so can't really demonstrate that, but just a quick explanation, we can select a coin or 2 coins or a time period, and once we apply that filter, it'll only show us swaps in our history that match that filter. Another pretty handy feature is this export button down the bottom here, which we can click on that, give it a file name, and it'll export in CSV format the details of any trades that we have displayed. Alright, now that we've done a couple of swaps, let's have a look at the address book. So this is just a convenient place to record any addresses that you might reuse in future. So instead of using something like a text file to store addresses in, we can just click on New Contact up there. And I'm just going to make an entry for my dad. Hit Confirm. And now if I click Edit on the side here, I can start adding addresses for my dad. So I'll click New Address. It'll ask me which wallet I want to select. I'm going to store his Bitcoin address first, so I'll just search BTC there, and down the bottom we've got Bitcoin. You can see we've also got the Binance Smart Chain BEP20 version of Bitcoin, but going old school. Enter a name for this, Dad's BTC wallet, and paste the address, and we'll hit Validate, and if everything's okay, it'll save that for us. If we want to edit that in future, just hit the pencil to edit again. And as an example, if I put an incorrect address, it would not accept the input. We can also delete the address, copy it to clipboard, or if we have funds, we can hit that button to send. And if we want to add additional addresses, we just hit New Address again. This time I'll select Komodo. You can see down the bottom here that we've got Komodo and Smart Chain, and this is because all coins in the Komodo ecosystem, such as Tokel, will use the same address. I prefer to store my address entries as Smart Chain rather than just an individual coin, because that means that it can be used for any coin under that platform or protocol. So I'm going to select Smart Chain, enter a name, call it Dad's KMD, enter the address, and there we go. Now that looks like I might still be using the Bitcoin address from before. So I've gotten a validation error. Let me just go and double check my dad's address. And there we go. Last thing, you might want to add some tags here. So I'm just going to add a tag called family. Always good to have more family in the crypto space. And once we're finished, we'll just hit confirm. And you can see now that entry's there. And if I go to the wallet page and say I want to send some KMD, we can hit that address book button there. And it'll just automatically let me select an address from my contacts, which is pretty handy. Now we'll have a look at the settings. So just in the sidebar down the bottom here, I hit settings. You can see there's a few tabs here. We'll start with general. We can enable or disable desktop notifications. Regardless of which setting you have this for, we'll still get notifications in the app. You just won't have them pop up down in the side or at the top of your screen when something happens. We've got the maximum number of enabled coins. Generally, less is better. You'll have a more responsive experience, although you can enable up to 200 if you want. We have another link here to open our logs folder. If you ever have trouble with AtomicDEX, the support guys might ask for a copy of your logs. That's the quickest way to get there. And we also have this reset wallet configuration button. What that does will reset all your wallet settings to default. We've also got a search update button down the bottom here. I'm on the latest release, so that tells me that I've already updated. We've also got another logout button, which I won't do just yet. Next tab is for languages. So we've got 4 supported languages at the moment: English, French, Turkish and Russian, with plans to expand that in future. And you can also select a whole bunch of different fiat currencies to show what the value of your coins are. Along with a few shortcuts down the bottom here to... Next tab is for the user interface, and here we can choose an alternative font or the theme. And in future you'll also be able to have custom themes placed in here, which aren't too hard to create. It's just a basic JSON file that defines a bunch of colors. The next setting tab is security. And in this one we can view the seed and private keys. So we click on show there, we just enter our password again, hit view, and all the private keys and our seed phrase will appear. And we can also set up a camouflage password. Basically what this does is, if we log in with our password plus a couple of letter suffix, all of our balances will display a bit lower. So if somebody's threatening you, trying to get to your funds, or you don't want them to think that you're as rich as you are, the camouflage password's a good way to get around that. And the final tab in settings is about and version, which lets us have another look at the disclaimer and terms of service. And we can also get details of the application version, the version of the MM2 AtomicDEX API binary, and the version of Qt that we're running. And that brings us to the end of the AtomicDEX Desktop guide. If you have any more questions, leave a comment or come say good day to us in Discord. Cheers.